The Chevy Blazer for 2023 has some updates in which make it look more dynamic. The front, reworked. Headlamp assembly, grille. Taking it into the rear, we get a diffuser, rework lights, and a dual exhaust to stress the power of the 3.6-liter V6. Morgan Chevrolet of Tampa has given us the Chevy Blazer in iridescent pearl over jet black with red accents in the interior. This one we are showing is going to have some more updates, not just the RS. Starting off, for the RS, you get the gloss black for the grille. We have the black for the bow tie badging LED headlamps, daytime runnings, and fog lamps. The gloss black carries over the whole lower trim with clearance at 7.4 inches, a wider track, and it projects more of that sporty heritage, especially when you get into the RS. You want it to really stress that with the gloss black. You want to get that two-tone for the roof. This is extra. It's a little bit under $600, but it keeps a dynamic proportion. The lower skirt with the gloss black and the silver that just brushes over, blacked out Blazer badging, 191.4 inches of a length. It will come standard as an 18-inch wheel, 21-inch machine finish, gloss black with the aluminum look, multi-spoke alloy wheels. It sets itself apart in a parking lot when you're looking at the RS. When you get into the LT, that's going to be more of a luxury interior, and the towing capacity can go up to 4,500 pounds. Because it's the RS, 3,500 pounds. The standard 3.6-liter V6 with 308 horsepower, 270 pound-feet of torque, paired to the 9-speed automatic transmission. That's going to achieve 19 mpgs to the city, 27 mpgs for the highway. The rear definitely keeps the dynamic proportions. Reworked rear 360-degree reverse camera. This is not standard, but it's still something that I would personally option because it's a longer vehicle and it makes it easier for any obstructions around it, and they have multiple camera options. Reworked tail lamps, lower roof spoiler, continues with the gloss black around the rear window. Power lift gate going inside, 31 cubic feet of storage. It does sit up a little bit. It's a wide opening. You have a couple of storage nooks on the side with a 12-volt. Interior lighting for the cargo is LED. Underneath the floor, a spare tire and some storage in the front and on the sides. Split fold the back seat at a 60-40 split in the back. Increasing cargo to 64.2 cubic feet. It's a little slower for the opening and closing. We need to go inside, start it up so you can hear that exhaust note. Going inside the RS Blazer, it's good ground clearance, so it's easy to get in and out. You don't need to do any running boards or anything like that to change the dynamic setup on the exterior. Headroom will decrease because we have the panel moonroof at 38 inches, so you're going to lose nearly 2 inches. Leg space at 41 inches. 10-way power seat adjustment for the driver with memory. Heated, ventilated seats for the front. 6-way power seat adjustment for the passenger, perforated with the red piping and contrast stitching. The dashboard gets the red contrast stitching around your circular air vents that's going to be throughout the cabin. It is definitely a more sporty derived setup with a 2-dash layout, so it's going to be a little bit more soft here and more of your everyday up here. On the driver's side, you'll have the same functionality with a digital reader in the gauge cluster that can go through an array of information for the driver. You can also change different driving modes, in which you will just see a little flag there on the side. 10.2-inch touchscreen diagonal display. Click on the home, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio. Put it into reverse. We have trajectory with a 360-degree reverse camera in each position. can go through multiple camera settings to make this easier for your reversing, working underneath to your dual climate control setup. The air vents, that's going to be with a USB A and C port in between and a wireless charging pad right here. I like how it bolsters out too, because it keeps that sports style with leather around your shifter, RS badging. In the cup holders, I have that key fob, which is going to look very similar to a Cadillac key fob, just the badging is different, just as a little secret. Your driving mode select, it's going to be more sport derived with that contrast stitching, open up, and it's a deep storage pocket with a USB-A, C, and another 12 volt. Leather wrap steering wheel is what we have. It's multi-function, 4-spoke, heated, adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist. The door panel and the dash more or less integrate together. The way the air vent is structured, it keeps that sporty Q that goes into the gloss black with the memory for the driver, one touch up and down only for the driver window. Soft pretty much everywhere except for here. For the grab handle, I like how they kept that dynamic look with the gloss black here, and they cut the storage pocket here, which makes it easier and more accessible for a smaller cell phone, and it goes deep so you can put an umbrella. If you want a bottle or beverage holder, this can fit a flask up this way, and you can also adjust different levels for the height of the tailgate with the premium Bose sound system. For the back seats, you lose about 2 inches because of this pano moonroof at 36.8 inches, but it's still doable if you're 6'3". Leg space at 39.6 inches, which is loads of space. The door panel does not receive the same materials that's in the front, so harder up here, soft right in here, one touchdown, heated rear seats with an area you could fit a large flask or an umbrella upwards this way with the premium Bose sound system in the back. Storage behind both of the front seats. The floor is completely flat. You get a home plug, a USB-A and C port, air vents in the center, and an area here that slides into a storage pocket. And to recline it back, fold this out, it's going to sit a little bit unlevel, but it's still comfortable for the most part. It's a little bit more firm, so my suggestion is just to sit it about this area here so it's comfortable. Sitting into the center, headroom is still not necessarily an issue, nor is leg space, obviously sharing feet, butt, and shoulder space. But the nice thing here is these seats can adjust, so you can move it forward, in which you get optimal storage capacity, but if you're looking, sitting in the center is not going to be optimal because you won't be able to sit on the side. Moving this all the way back is really the most ideal. The Chevy Blazer RS, what it reminds me of and what it should is the Camaro for the interior. So when you're looking at this particular car, you're getting a sports car picked up in an SUV form. 308 horsepower at 270 pound-feet of torque out of the V6. That's a lot of power for this vehicle. Motivation, getting to 60 in the low 6 seconds. So it is quick enough, especially considering the size. This is over 190 inches long. It also feels wider, and the steering has a very light touch to it. So that means it's going to have a little bit more play and dynamics, especially when you get on it from a 0 to 60 perspective or at a red light to red light, which we're about to show you. The front windscreen, I like how it projects. It actually feels very Camaro oriented in the whole front here because of how long the window is. It's a touch longer than the Camaro, but it still brushes at the same dynamics, and you got that long hood. The A-pillars are nice and chunky, so I feel like I'm ready to take this thing and try to give her a little go here. And you can see for dynamics, it's not an issue as long as the person in front of you doesn't do anything crazy. You can move in and out of lanes without any issues. That's gonna take me to some things I like and dislike, and that's what we're gonna start talking about. What I like about the vehicle is when you get the combination with these upgraded wheels, the gloss black for the exterior for your roof, it really sets this apart from other Chevrolet Blazers. So I think if you're to option this, this is what I personally would do. And the 360-degree camera is just something that makes it a lot more safe and easy because the turn radius, which you're about to see, is not necessarily the tightest in class. The next thing that I like is how sporty it is for the driver and passenger. It's so Camaro oriented, and yet it's a practical, everyday driven vehicle. And that takes me to the last thing, the door panels. When you have that storage tier in the top, it makes it easy and accessible to pull out a smaller cell phone like one that I have, or you can simply use it for your umbrella holder. So it separates the storage. Now to show you the turn radius at a stop point, it gets right at nearly 3 lanes. That's why I recommend that 360-degree reverse camera. 3 things that I dislike. Starts off that you have to package this vehicle this spec in order for it to look this dynamic, in which it escalates the MSRP. It's not a significant difference. You're getting 21-inch wheels opposed to 18-inch wheels. It really does change the whole aesthetics. Going to the next thing that I dislike is on the rear, where you go to open the power liftgate. There's a big black piece that looks like a license plate holder, and it's not. It's just a black piece. Would have been nice if they cleaned it up, because this has been refreshed. The last thing that I dislike about the vehicle is the turn radius. This is an everyday vehicle. It really would be nice to get a closer 2-lane for a U-turn, because when you go to park this, if you're reversing it, it's going to be wider in that perspective than going forward because of the front and rear track differences. As an everyday vehicle, this is going to feel the most dynamic in the interior, and it's going to look the part on the exterior. It doesn't matter who you compare it against. Going back to the rivals, whether it's the Honda Santa Fe, the Honda Passport, or the Nissan Murano, not a big fan of the turn signal. I'm going to turn it off. This one will not have the biggest screen for your infotainment. That will go to the Hyundai Santa Fe. The Passport will not feel as athletic in the interior, and the horsepower is going to be more in this, so you'll have a little bit quicker to the 0 to 60s, and it feels more dynamic in the interior of this. Going against the Nissan Murano, they haven't really changed that variant for quite a while, so it's a little bit dated. I like the luxury that projects, but you're not getting that 9-speed automatic transmission. It's going to be a CVT in that variant. I don't know what's going on. It's crazy here in Florida. Independent McPherson strut front suspension and a 5-link independent rear suspension, so the drive is going to be comfortable. Going over any imperfections, even if you upgrade to the 21-inch wheels, it's still going to be a comfortable ride. It's not going to be anything similar to a sports car, even though it projects that in the interior. I'd like to thank Morgan Chevy of Tampa for giving us this 2023 Chevrolet Blazer RS for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, I don't know what you're waiting for. Click the next video and the subscribe button. Check out the merchandise website and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like.